What's good? What's good, guys? Hopefully, we got audio and everything today. Made some time to stream for a bit just to hang out and talk about, some of what we could see from Spider Man or Peter's story specifically in Spider Man 2. And one sec. Didn't mean to do that. Got it. And we're doing it again. All right. One sec. But yeah, just happy to be here as always. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys for a bit, chatting, seeing what we got. What we can basically expect from Spider-Man, or Peter's story specifically in Spider-Man 2 this time around. Let me make sure everything's good on my end. Apologize, like I said, it's another early morning after a late night, so these streams are always kind of just off the cuff. But like I said, I'm always down to hang out with you guys and talk, gaming in general or whatever you guys are interested in for the week. Hopefully everybody's off to a good start this morning. I know school has started back, so I won't be surprised if not many people get to hang out today. But yeah, just quick shout outs for everybody in chat so far. We got JB Studios. If you're still here, what's up, bro? I saw you looking forward to the stream yesterday and the Space Con. What's good, homie? Hopefully they make Peter a little dark considering. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because he definitely looks a little sinister, in the recent promotional material we got for him. As you can see in this image here, he definitely looks a little like he's kind of up to something. Like he looks a little shady in the trailer, or that could just be my perception, but he definitely looks a little off. If you guys can, just let me know if we got visuals and audio and everything. We're good on that front. What's up, Big Boss? How you doing? Get this unconnected. There we go. All right, get a little room going in here. There. But yeah, switching over. Just like I said, I just wanted to take a closer look at what we know about the story so far, what we got to see in the trailers that we got. So the story trailer we got not too long ago, as well as the recent story trailer that showcased Harry in the game, and that last trailer, we saw Peter doing some things that definitely kind of go off the beaten path for him. And, all the promo material outside of this trailer specifically has kind of hinted at Peter going in a much darker direction than what we saw from him in the last story. And, kind of looking back at what we got in the previous game, specifically with the story focusing around Yuri. Insomniac showed that they're not afraid to go into a darker direction, in terms of just general storytelling or any one specific storyline. We saw Yuri transition from by the books police officer to, really no nonsense and not shy about going as far as murdering people in response to what she was dealing with Hammerhead. And we'll get into all of that stuff more a little bit towards the end of the stream. But yeah, like I said, if it isn't just me, I swear this version of Peter just looks sinister, kind of throughout. It's like during these parts of the trailer he's still happy go lucky and making jokes and things like that. But a lot of what we saw from him in the trailer with him and Miles specifically, his interactions with Miles, his interactions as far as saving people, like he saves a guy and just flat out throws that guy down on the ground with no real regard. And a lot of sinister shots like this, we see him apparently chasing MJ, so it's like he's he's pursuing her, I guess. She looks scared of him, so obviously Peter is not going to be himself in this game, which is of course leading a lot of people to believe that Peter will be the one who's Venom. I know a lot of people are suspecting that it's going to be Harry based on him saying he wants to heal the world, and then you hear Venom saying that same line later in the trailer. But I don't think so. I think there's a misdirect going on there, but at the same time, I also believe we'll see more than one host for Venom, before the story's conclusion, because that's kind of what the thing is with Venom in general. Is like he's not bound to just one host, for his total existence. But yeah, like looking at a lot of the gameplay footage and just the dialogue that we got for Peter in this story, the the biggest takeaway they want for us to have is that this is a darker version of Peter. So and that's kind of expected for anytime you see the symbiote attached to Peter, it influences his personality. It starts to kind of ruin his relationships, but he doesn't perceive it that way. He perceives it as he's being a bit more assertive and confident in his abilities. He feels stronger. He feels better. So he's not seeing himself in the same light that the people around him are seeing him. But if you followed his story or you know him in general, then you know for sure that this is a very different version of Peter than what we're used to. And this trailer specifically hints at that all throughout with the dialogue that we get. What's up, Venom, and what's up, JB Studios? How you guys doing? Personally, I think Peter will be pushed further than we've ever seen Black Suit Spider-Man before. I don't believe either him or Harry will be the main villain, but Peter will be very dark. So I can see Peter, kind of transitioning into Venom throughout the story if that's a direction they want to go, because that's not something we've typically seen in Spider-Man storytelling before. So that's definitely a different avenue they could explore, if they wanted to. But I still think they want to deliver that Peter versus Venom, aspect of the story. So I believe Venom definitely will ultimately have a different host. And Venom speaking or Venom 2.0 specifically throwing out in chat that he thinks it will be Norman Osborn. I think the story trailer kind of hints at that, where you see what appears to be Harry staring out of a giant hole created by Venom, and I think that could possibly be a sign that Norman would be Venom, and Harry seeing the aftermath of the destruction left behind by Venom. But I think they definitely want players to experience Venom as a boss fight. Now, we still could get that even if Peter is Venom, with just by putting us in the role of Miles, and you can face off against Venom with Miles. I think that's going to be a primarily easier fight for Miles than it would be for Peter, just because of how Miles' powers are set up, and he just kind of seems to be a cheat code against Venom. What's up, Where? I hope I'm saying that right. Wyora. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. I'll correct that. But good morning to you. Hope everything's going off to a good start for you this morning. Just hanging out for a bit, chatting with you guys, talking about what we'll see from Peter, this time around. All right, but it would be dope if they let us choose to keep the symbiote and turn into the big, huge Venom, or choose to get rid of the suit. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a bit of a collab in terms of Venom in this game. So I do believe that if we are indeed going to get a chance to physically play as Venom in this game, I believe it'll be from possibly Peter's perspective. Or they may go full blown and give us a third playable character all to himself, but I think it'll be a set piece. So it's like it'll be specifically a portion of the game, because you see Craven's hunters chasing Venom in the little clip that we did get to see of him. So it's like I can kind of see that being something where Peter is transitioned fully into Venom, and Craven is now pursuing him even harder, and you have to defend yourself, but now you have the full abilities of Venom. And then we are supposed to be getting DLC that's being hinted at more and more behind the scenes, with voice actors coming out. So you got Tony Todd recently saying that he's been doing some extensive voice work and motion capture work. Najee has come out and said that Yuri and Tony Todd have been collaborating together for Spider-Man specific stuff. So I believe DLC with Venom is definitely on the horizon post-launch, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. And like I said, if we do get Peter as his host at some point during the story, obviously Miles is going to help him separate himself from the symbiote. And where the symbiote goes from there is where we'll probably get our host of Venom for the duration of the story. Now, whether he'll be the host of Venom, towards the end of the story, that remains to be seen, because I still believe they may transition towards Eddie Brock being the final host of Venom in this story. We may see him emerge somewhere in the story throughout, possibly, but that's purely my own speculation at this point. Let's hop back into some of the comments. Don't worry about getting the name down. It's all good. I just try to say people's names right. That's it's important. So it's a respect thing. But I appreciate you being here nonetheless. I would love to see a boss battle with Miles versus Martin Lee. Oh yeah, we're definitely getting that. That was hinted at in the trailers, with Miles having a big confrontation with him during what looks to be a prison breakout from the Wrath again, which I think they're trying to go back and visit that well again because of how fun that set piece was in the original game. But I think they want to have Miles' story not be overshadowed by what we're seeing with Peter, so they're trying to strike a balance there, is what my expectation will be. So there's definitely going to be a lot for Miles to do and juggle in this story as well. And him confronting Martin Lee after he killed his father in the last game is like that's definitely going to be probably the biggest thing in the story. That also leads me to believe we could also see Miles possibly end up with the symbiote. I believe I remember hearing rumors about both Miles and Peter having the symbiote at some point. I got work brain, so it's like I can't remember all the details I've seen so far. I'll look into it and get it compiled and present all that to you guys at a later time. But I do remember hearing that as well, and Miles dealing with the darkness of his feelings about Martin Lee, about his father, is like that would be I can definitely see that being something that would entice the symbiote, for him as a host. And the symbiote is only going to amplify those negative feelings. So we could see Miles go down a darker path as well. Although I doubt they want to go into that too far, because it's like kind of like good cop, bad cop. You want to have someone be the straight man while you're exploring the darker aspects of one of the other characters. So if Peter's going to be the central focus for the character who's being presented in a more darker light, you want to kind of contrast that with Miles being the moral compass, essentially. But Miles has been spending a lot of time with Peter. He's got to know him pretty well, in their time sharing spotlight as Spider-Man. So he's going to be one of the first people, aside from MJ, who notices some of these darker characteristics starting to surface with Peter in this game story. Let me hop back in the comments. But yeah, Tony Todd definitely teased that there's going to be a major set piece when you fight against Venom, or maybe even when you play against Venom. He compared it to the Rhino chase scene at the start of Miles Morales' game, and I think they're gonna. It's a sequel, so you want to do bigger and better. Like we're seeing, that level of destruction right here already with just simply chasing the lizard around the city, and it's like Venom. I think they really want to swing for the fences with that. So I have high expectations for whatever boss battle they have in place and design for Venom right off the rip. But don't worry about. All right, I got that one. The final boss will definitely be 1v1 Peter versus Venom, and truthfully, I think they're lying about Eddie. I really do think Eddie will be the final Venom. I'm right there with you. I wouldn't say they're full out lying, because I don't think he's going to be the initial host or the host of Venom throughout the most of the game. But that like I said, that's purely speculation. So we know that the Osborns are in possession of the Venom suit. We know that Peter is obviously going to come in possession of the symbiote at some point. Anyone else beyond that is purely speculation, but I know a lot of people are all the way in on the idea of Peter being Venom in this game, and like I said, that's not something we've seen before, so I can see them exploring that as a possibility, just because it gives them an avenue to do something new with Peter's story, which is what they primarily did with a lot of the story in the first Spider-Man game, where you're seeing a lot of familiar faces, but in a different capacity. So people like Electro and Vulture, they're functioning the same, but now we're meeting Mayor Osborn instead of is that it? I think that might be it. But yeah, you're just seeing just the same characters you're familiar with, just in a new light in some capacity, and I think that's something they really try to do as much as possible in Insomniac. But yeah, the storyline with Hammerhead is a perfect example of Insomniac not being afraid to pull the kitty gloves off and tell a darker story here. Like this first DLC that we got, or this no, this was the second DLC, but this DLC that we got introducing Hammerhead into the storyline and showing his interactions with Yuri and him, killing off her men, which pushes her down a darker path, which they're obviously going to revisit that in Spider-Man 2. They teased her in the trailer as well, and it's like that's what has my expectations there for Peter to really get to show some of the darker sides of his character that he may not consciously be aware of, but Insomniac is definitely not afraid to show us that you literally got one of one of the most renowned figures from horror in general with Tony Todd to come in and do the voice of Venom. So it's like I do believe they're gonna go in a not so family friendly direction with some of the storytelling here. Obviously, they're going to bring it around to a more heroic and triumphant end to just kind of get back into the sunlight a bit. But we're definitely going to spend some time in the dark. I have no doubts about that. But as you can see here, she did not hesitate to take those guys out. She didn't try to arrest them. She didn't try to wound them. Those people are done. They are done with all their living, and Hammerhead is enjoying that. He's thriving off kind of corrupting her, and it's compelling. That's compelling storytelling, and I commend Insomniac for being willing to go in that direction and just kind of not being afraid to just tell a bit of a darker story here. It's like you get to know these characters a bit. You see them. This isn't fully them, but you also understand what pushed them in that direction. So it's like you get it. And that's always been a big part of Spider-Man storytelling in general, where we'll see his perspective of things. So we know why he's showing up late to like his friends' events and things like that. And their perception of him is that Peter doesn't care, or he's this bad person, but we know he just saved a little girl from a burning building or something like that, but he can't tell them that, so he has to deal with that perception. Will I be trying Starfield? Unfortunately, I don't have a Xbox, and I doubt my PC can run that, so things could change. I've been planning to get an Xbox. I'll see what the market is looking like, see if I can get one. Probably for a little cheaper or something like that. But I was just looking at some footage of, or gameplay footage of Starfield last night. It looks dope. Over 1,000 worlds to explore and all of that stuff. It's going to be hidden today. You're going to see a lot of people showcasing it off today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jay Shockblast over on, but he's got his hands on it. Also, my friend Slipshock, he's going to be showcasing it. So. If you're looking forward to catching that being streamed, there's a ton of options of other streamers who are going to be playing it. But unfortunately, I didn't, I don't have access to that right now. Let me catch up with you guys. My story will be dark if we have more MJ stuff section. They pushing you down the darker path, huh, Nicholas? I feel it. I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to handle that, because I think fans were pretty vocal about not wanting to play as her as much in the second game, and we'll see how much that affects their storytelling, because these studios they can kind of they hear you, but at the same time there are things they want for their story specifically. So you kind of just got to respect that and accept that. So. I'm hoping we strike a better balance. I was not a big fan of her sections of the game. It's a Spider-Man game. That's who I want to play with. But, I understand what they were trying to do with that stuff. So, it's their game. I'll respect it, however they see fit to play it. But I heard PlayStation increased their subscription price. Yeah, they're going up on a lot of their like yearly subscription fees, I believe. I don't know the specifics of it. Like I said, I was at work when I saw that news, so you know, I'm definitely not the official source on that, but yeah, I saw some of that as well. But yeah, as you saw, I'll go back a little bit. Um, just with this storyline, like this guy is trying to live stream killing people in cement. That's a pretty dark subject to be covering in a video game. But it is rated T for teens, so they feel like teens are able to handle this kind of material at the least. But again, they're not afraid to. This isn't like happy-go-lucky, Spider-Man or anything like that. It's like those aspects are there, but the original game, ended with the death of Aunt May, and it's like that's hard hitting. That's not something we're used to seeing in most Spider-Man storylines until like with No Way Home was like you're trying to push the character in a darker direction, obviously, and you want to explore that. Screwball would be proud. I'm pretty sure Screwball is coming back. The intent of that character is to be annoying and give at the same time give players a little something to do on the side, just off the beaten path of the typical game. But hey, we'll all have to see. But yeah, it's like she is out for blood in this scene. Like she is not playing around, and it's only going to get worse. It's like you're only going to see worse from her in the coming story. We get confirmation on Wolverine yet? What do you mean the game? We haven't heard anything official outside of Wolverine is coming from Insomniac Studios. A lot of people are expecting it to hit sometime in late 2024, so around the time that we'll see Spider-Man this year, we should be seeing Wolverine drop around that time next year. But who knows at this point? That's all still to be revealed. But again, the deconstruction of Yuri, in this game, she started off in the light and ended up in the dark. And like I said, you understand her reasons, you understand her motivations and everything, but people will be challenged and pushed in these stories, and you have to they're going to respond to the things happening around them. And with Craven, hurting people in New York in pursuit of Spider-Man, that's going to be something that's going to be setting him off. We don't know what we'll see from Norman Osborn, who did a ton of damage, to people in the original game. So it's like, will they take his story even further? Which again, they're setting up so many spinning plates, and it's like it's so interesting because obviously they're going to be going for a Spider-Man 3. It's just which direction are we going? Because with introducing the symbiote, in Spider-Man 2, that's going to be a central focus of the story. With Venom comes the possibility for Carnage. So do you go in the direction of Carnage in Spider-Man 3, or do you deliver what fans want to see with Green Goblin, or Norman Osborn going into his phase as Green Goblin? And it's like either direction is fine. I just don't know. I feel like the story kind of set up both in the original game, so where you gave the option to go in the direction of the symbiote suit, while also, you saw Norman kind of get challenged with Dr. Octopus and the other villains kind of coming after him, Martin Lee specifically. So it's like he wants to save his son. Does something happen to Harry that pushes him over the edge? Like what if Norman is ultimately revealed to be Venom? What pushes him in that direction? You get what I'm saying? And what kind of damage is he going to do? I don't believe we've seen Norman be the host for Venom. We've seen Norman, do a lot of things in the comics and the movies and things over the years, but I don't believe we've seen him be Venom. Not off the top of my head. I heard we're getting Hydro Man and Speed Demon. I'll take it. That like I said, that brings me to another point. Is like this game just has so much potential to explore so much of Spider-Man's universe, and adding more villains into just like normal patrol mode would be something I feel like is offering something most Spider-Man games simply don't have or don't offer, where you're on patrol and a villain just kind of busts out. We get a little bit of that with Shocker in the first game, but it's like that's obviously a set interaction where you can have a unscripted boss fight, mini boss fight with a lesser known or smaller villain, and that's something I think most people would be very interested in seeing. Do I think we'll get Shocker added in the second game? 100%. They definitely want to offer that interaction where angry symbiote suit Spider-Man is interacting with Shocker. I believe I would be 100% surprised if we don't get Shocker in some capacity in this game. But with the Wrath, having a second breakout, I think that definitely ups the possibility of us seeing Shocker make an appearance in this game. I feel like with Wolverine, you can tell a very dark story through and through, not like Spider-Man, where there will be light moments, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. Yeah, Wolverine and Shocker, Wolverine and Spider-Man usually have very, kind of different storylines, but Spider-Man does have his own dark storylines, but, Wolverine by nature of, how his powers work and everything like that, and what his time with the Weapon X program did to him is like he's by design a darker character. Like even with the X-Men, like they explore dark stories, but even with that, Wolverine has always kind of been the standout because he is literally trained to kill people. Like he's not he's a good person, he's a good man, he's not a nice man, and it's like that leaves all kind of room to tell all kind of stories with that stuff, and I'm looking forward to that because I know they're gonna knock it out of the park, and I like what they did with Spider-Man's story where we're getting familiar faces but we're getting them in a different capacity and seeing them in different positions than what we're used to, and that's all dope. I feel like that's how you do something new while staying true to what you're familiar with or what you were a fan of initially. Let me see. I'm glad to see you back, man. Even though Marvel's Avengers is long over, it's still good to see and hear from you. I appreciate that. I don't want to say your name, way, or I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, like I said, guys. I don't know where to squeeze it into the schedule. I know people are still playing Avengers. I know people still like playing Avengers and stuff, and it's like I can make time. I don't like I can try. I'll try streams. Like what's tomorrow? Friday. I can try an Avenger stream tomorrow. So if you guys are down and if nothing major is going on tomorrow, we could try an Avenger stream around this time. If you guys want that, I can do it for you. But yeah, it's like there's just a ton of potential with these stories that they're setting up. So it's like again, like I said, with Venom, you always have an avenue to an offshoot of Carnage, and with you still have Norman Osborn in the wings. So it's like, what direction are they gonna go with him? Will they introduce Eddie Brock? And again, what are we going to see with Peter? Because the idea of him chasing Mary Jane is crazy. Like that's not something I ever thought we would see in a Spider-Man story where Peter is actively kind of hunting and pursuing Mary Jane as the symbiote, or while the symbiote is attached to him. And it's like, how will Miles respond to that? So she obviously is going to have to call Miles for help in that situation, I would think. And this being Peter is like a big brother slash father figure to Miles in this story, and it's like having to you're looking up to him. This is your idol, and it's like now you have to be the person that comes in and stops him because you're essentially the only person who has the ability to, And it's like, that's crazy, but that is amazing storytelling. So definitely looking at that, looking forward to that. And like I said, Miles is pretty powerful as as Spider-Man in his own right, which is why I think they wanted to introduce the symbiote for Peter, just to kind of give him a new set of powers to play with outside of solely going down the route of more gadgets. Because he has a ton of gadgets, and there are more you can introduce in the game, but Miles' raw power is just off the charts in this game. Like the Venom powers, he can borderline fly, and now with the wing gliders, it's like you literally can fly. It's like Miles is just off the chain in this game. So it's like you definitely had to do something to kind of balance things with Peter. But yeah, for you guys who didn't catch that in the trailer, it's like you see they're obviously setting up a confrontation between Miles and Martin Lee, while also teasing that Yuri will be back. I don't know if she's the cause of the raft being broken into, but she's definitely going to be featured, or she won't have a problem dealing with any of these villains who are getting off the raft in this story. But yeah, we see the introduction of the symbiote. We see Miles and Martin having a confrontation. There's Yuri, of course, introduced as the Wraith, and it's like they have a lot of spinning plates, but I wanted to focus on the. So it's like he is just going full dark. Like, look at this face. This lady is horrified, and the idea that she's horrified of Peter is crazy. Like, that says everything. Like this, that he you can't get more far gone than that, than scaring one of the closest people to you. So she's running and hiding from you in fear. That I can see this being a part of the game where we will have to control Mary Jane. So you're trying to hide from Peter, and it's like you got to look at the lighting and everything. They're definitely going for like horror game elements there. And it's like the idea of Spider-Man going full, horror monster or something like that is crazy. But again, it's like that's what keeps these kind of stories fresh, exploring those new avenues that haven't really been, traveled down before. And I think they're gonna knock it out of the park with this one. But Miles is definitely gonna have to step up and and get things done, because it's going to be a rough one. But it's like, how do the Osborns factor into this? So this is what I was talking about with Harry overlooking the city, but as you can see, there's a chunk of the wall missing. So Venom clearly made an exit where there's not an exit before. And well, we assume this is Harry, honestly, because it's like looking at the hair, that could be Peter. I think they want the assumption. No, that's Peter. No, that's Harry. That's 100% Harry. But yeah, it's like he's seeing the destruction that was caused by Venom. Is this Norman Osborn as Venom leaving or launching out of the penthouse and just running rage throughout the city? Is like, that seems to be what they're setting up, because I know with the dialogue, it suggests that Harry is the person, hosting the Venom symbiote, but I don't know. They played a lot of tricks with their marketing for the original game, so it's like you can never fully trust what they're saying and what they're showing. And I made a video the other day showing that GameStop dropped a Twitter post, saying that Venom will be playable, and some of the developers tried to come in and do damage control and say, oh, they meant to say Peter's symbiote abilities or something like that. But we saw similar. If you've been following the marketing for Mortal Kombat 1 on Twitter, when those leaks came out about who the what are they called, the tag characters, damn, I forgot what they're called that quick. What's up, Craig? How you doing, bro? Praying all is well. Always, bro. As long as I can get up and you know I'm still here, it's a good day, and I do everything I can to keep it that way. But I appreciate you being here, bro. Hope everything's been good with you. Um, Damn, what are they? What are the tag team characters called in the new Mortal Kombat? Damn. Cameos. Thank you. Yeah, so you know when they leaked all those cameo characters, you know Ed Boon was like, "Hey, you know leaks aren't real" and all of that stuff, and you know now we're constantly seeing a rollout of those leaks being real, and it's like you never know. You never know with gaming, but developers always gonna try to keep it unofficial until they can market it properly because that's where they want people to get their information. That's where they want people to experience the news for the first time. But I'm pretty confident that Venom is going to be playable in this game. Who the hell Venom is going to be throughout the game, we have no idea. Only thing we know for sure is that Peter is going to have a symbiote suit. There are suggestions that Peter may be Venom in this game at some point, and I believe we're clearly going to get another Venom at some point throughout the story because they want Venom versus Spider-Man. The symbiote being rejected by Peter is a big part of why Venom, works the way he does. There he starts off very furious, very rageful, and out for revenge against Spider-Man specifically because the symbiote felt rejected by Peter. And I think they want to deliver that aspect of the story as well. Who will get, coming after Peter with the symbiote, we don't know. We do not know that part of the story just yet. I think getting Miles with the symbiote suit at some point would be dope as well. I don't think his time with the suit would be as long as Peter's, so I don't think we'll see him kind of transition and everything like that if we do see Miles with the symbiote suit. I think Miles, will probably be more prone to reject it, but who knows? With the way they can tell stories with this game, you could see Miles become Carnage or something. Like you literally would never know. But the possibilities are endless. What's up, Cecil? How are you? I'm good. Hope everything's good with you. Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, it's like we can see it all with this game, but dealing with Peter specifically is like you can hear it in his voice throughout the story, throughout the trailer, that he's very very rageful at this point, very upset. He's starting to really tap into those darker feelings that he harbors towards villains and people who hurt people unnecessarily and things like that, while also losing sight of the fact that he is losing a lot of his core self in that process. So while he's going down that darker path, he's letting go of the things that make him, the Peter that we're familiar with. So the guy who will jump in front of a car to save someone, that's being lost in pursuit of just doggedly pursuing the person who was in the car. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they're definitely going to, as they said yesterday with their Twitter post, they're cooking over there. They are definitely cooking, but like this dude look like he's up to something, bro? Like I don't know why Peter looks distrustful in this whole trailer. He just doesn't look to be trusted. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's the new details on his model or something. I don't know, but he just looks kind of shady. But like I said, that's my personal perception, I guess. But what are you guys thinking? Like, what do you think the darkest thing we'll see from Peter? Because right now is chasing MJ. Like that's pretty high up on the list of dark for his character. But like, how far do you guys think the symbiote is going to push him? In terms of how he fights villains, how he interacts with his friends and things, because things are clearly going to get bad between him and Miles as well. once Miles begins to call him out on what he's seeing from him. But I don't know. I'm still not 100% sold that Peter is going to be full blown Venom, but I'll probably say I'm about 30 to 35%, ready to jump off that cliff. Like I said, they are definitely cooking something over there, man. I want to put together, probably I'll probably make it a short, but I want to kind of list off some of the darkest things we've seen Peter do while wearing the symbiote suit, throughout history, Spider-Man history in general. So I'll be pulling from things he's done in the movies, things he's done in the comics, things he's done in gaming. Spider-Man Web of Shadows, you saw that might be the darkest we've seen Peter with the symbiote suit in general. Like, I don't know if you guys all played that game, but he did some dark stuff in that one, like ripping Wolverine in half. It's like Peter can go ham when he gets that symbiote suit on his back. I think we will see Peter almost kill someone, maybe a villain or an innocent person. I definitely feel like all of that is on the table. Like I said, just the way he kind of manhandles the people he's saving in this trailer is crazy. But yeah, it's like they wanted to show off some of the new abilities he has while wearing the symbiote, and it's like, just paying attention to some of the new UI details we got. So it's like, this seems to be for Venom powers. This seems to be his typical gadgets, I believe. And then, you got a new, new design for the web meter. With this, none of this may make it into the final design. We saw stuff like this change with the marketing in the last game. So what we saw in terms of UI and things in the trailers and marketing kind of didn't make it into the final design of the game. We know they're still working on it. That it hasn't been officially finished or completed yet. So they're still fine tuning, making little changes and things like that. I'm pretty sure it'll be ready to ship at the date, which is why they announced it when they did. But there's still time to make tweaks and changes between now and towards the end of October. But yeah, being able to take out 4 enemies at once is definitely something new that they wanted to show off. And how are you guys feeling about the suit, the symbiote design? Like, I know a lot of people had mixed feelings about that. I heard some people are not a fan of how it looks. Other people are really liking how it looks. I'm kind of in the middle. It's definitely something new I wasn't expecting. But, it's definitely growing. What are you most considering about Spider-Man 2, gameplay and story-wise? I hope we get a pretty lengthy story. I want to live in this world for a bit. I hope DLC, will probably be ready to go by early 2024. That seems to be what the suggestions are behind the scenes, and as well as from the voice actors that this new content will be ready to go in 2024. But I I want to see how the boss battles play out. In the last game, I felt they felt a bit too formulaic. So, like the boss fight against Doctor Octopus is like, it's pretty linear. It's not as free flow as I feel like a boss battle should be. So like, when you step into a room of enemies and you have the option of disposing of those enemies however you see fit. So you can go full stealth. They just showed off another Miles ability there. You can use stealth. You can go in hot and just try to fight everybody. You can use the environment to fight, giving the players the option to get the job done as best as they see fit. I feel like it's the best way to go with boss battles. And when it's super scripted, it's like that kind of takes some of the fun out of it. But at the same time, it's like I get it. You want to deliver a certain experience, and it's like I get that, and I understand that, and those are the challenges of developing games in general. So what, and you also have to try to balance it for multiple audiences, because this is for a wide audience. This is Spider-Man, so it's like there are going to be a ton of people trying to play this, and from what I'm seeing, a lot of people aren't fans of difficulty in superhero games. So it's like you don't want to be challenged that much while playing. Where I'm kind of on the other side of the fence, especially with boss battles. I feel like it should challenge you. I feel like it should force you to think and come up with different means of attacking the problem. I feel like the best example of that would be the Mr. Freeze fight from Batman Arkham City. That the way Mr. Freeze adjusts to your or adapts to your tactics in the middle of the fight and forces you to think of a new way to attack him every time is brilliant, and I wish we saw more of that in gaming in general. So you can't attack me the same way twice. These same mechanics won't work the same way over and over again. And really just challenge the player to stop, think, figure things out. You might have to lose a couple times, but it makes it that much more rewarding when you ultimately do find a way to win. So that's kind of some of the stuff I'm hoping to see. Have you played any Mortal Kombat games? If so, are you looking forward to Mortal Kombat 1? I've played every Mortal Kombat that has ever existed. My favorite in terms of like just raw gameplay, I'll give you my top 3. So my absolute favorite Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat 9 that came out for like the 360 back in like 2010. Behind that, I would say Mortal Kombat, what was that, Deadly Alliance. I really enjoyed the combat. That's when they really changed up the combat, like in terms of switching up styles and using weapons and things like that. I really enjoyed that, learning how to play that. Like, at first I wasn't a fan of having to actually learn how to do the moves and all of that stuff, but actually sitting down, getting the strategy guide and all of that stuff, and getting really good with Kung Lao. What's good, Captain? How you doing, bro? Because they killed off Liu Kang in that game, obviously, which that turned me off a lot, because like Wolverine and Scorpion are my go-tos. I mean Wolverine, Liu Kang and Liu Kang and Scorpion are my go-tos in those games. But anybody just popping in, sorry for the derailing, just answering questions in chat about MK. But yeah, it's like Deadly Alliance, and then I would say probably Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, when they first introduced the running mechanic. It's like, but yeah, Mortal Kombat itself is dope. I like what they've been doing with the story in the recent games and all of that. The combat itself is a little too rigid for my taste, so it's like I tend to lean more towards games like Street Fighter and Tekken, but I do like the character designs that they've been going with these past few years and things like that. So I'm definitely a fan of the games and the movies. I'm really pumped to play as Superman so we can get the beat the game in 2 seconds trophy. I'm lost, but yeah, getting back on topic, man. It's like, as you can see here, like Miles and Peter have definitely progressed to a point where they rely on each other. So Miles isn't just a tag along in this game. He's a vital component of this Spider-Man duo, and they need each other. And it's like, it's nice to see the development of their relationship grow as well, and getting to see that kind of be torn apart a little bit, or the beginning of a rift kind of being formed because of Peter's change in personality. Like I said, that just makes for compelling storytelling. But in the trailer, Genki is asking Miles about Peter, like, hey, is he always like that? And he's like, no, he's never like that, because he can see Miles. He's been watching Peter for years. He's been observing him, so it's like he knows him, probably in a bit more than almost MJ at this point. MJ has known him longer, but he gets to see a side of Peter that no one else really gets to see because he knows Peter as Spider-Man, and he gets to see him, in the field as Spider-Man. But yeah, it's like it's really going to be interesting to see how and when Miles chooses to confront Peter about his change in behavior and personality. Who are you going to play as first? Whoever, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Peter. I'm pretty sure they're going to start the game off putting the players in the shoes of Peter. But given the fact that they're both operating as Spider-Man already, it could be either or. So they might give you the option right out of the gate. And if I get the option right out of the gate, I don't know. I cannot say as of yet because I want to try out both. I'm looking forward to trying out both of these guys and seeing what their abilities are. Peter obviously isn't going to start off with the symbiote suit, I don't believe. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going on with both of their gameplay and seeing what's new, what's been added, what's been changed. I'll see if I can pause it here. A lot of people are saying like you can see Peter's eyes, the lens around his eyes kind of shift and become Venom like. Yeah, okay, I saw it. Let me see. So it's small. It's a small detail, but people definitely caught on to it. Yeah. So as you can see, he they definitely are teasing that the symbiote has a bit more influence over Peter than what he believes, and that could go as far as seeing Peter ultimately become the version of Venom we're all more familiar with. But like I said, it's all waiting to be revealed. But like I'm trying to get a close up of Venom eye, so it's like you can kind of see the beginnings of his design start to take shape there. What are we thinking? Do you believe this is Peter? Because like I said, we got Craven's men attacking him. This is clearly a set piece where Venom is being hunted by Craven and his men. Is Peter the person in the suit at this point? Because they're going to obviously see him wearing the symbiote, and their constant antagonizing of him is obviously going to push him in a more angrier direction. So it's like I won't be surprised by that at all. But it all remains to be seen. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not 100% ready to jump off that cliff of Peter being the one behind Venom at this point. But yeah, it's like they're teasing team takedowns. Like I think what they're gonna be able to do with this game is gonna far exceed what we got with the last game. Um, if you guys played Miles Morales, that game was dope, and I had a ton of fun playing that. And now you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, or those worlds are coming together. So it's like it's Peter with some new tech and everything. Miles, his powers are growing. Like we saw him throw kind of like a fireball of electricity later in the trailers, and it's just, man, this is gonna be definitely a game of the year contender, if not game of the year. I know we got a lot of big games hitting the hitting the scene this year. So you got Starfield dropping today. You got Mortal Kombat 1 hitting the shelf soon. Spider-Man. What else? You got the Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor, I believe. But yeah, it's like this has really been a good year for gaming in general. Bad year for fans of Avengers because that's wrapping up tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, I think that officially gets delisted tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I forgot about Zelda. Zelda gets Game of the Year. I won't be surprised. Like I said, gaming has been killing it this year. Yeah, we got some good movies. I was about to say movies, not so much. We got some good movies this year so far. I know Barbie has been the breakout of the year, but it's like, it's been a good year for gamers who enjoy gaming. I know a lot of gamers seem to enjoy the negativity surrounding gaming, so that's a thing now. Um, Going back a bit, like they're definitely showing they're showing a lot of cards here. So it's like, Harry is going to get angry as well, as you can see. So it's like they show that for a reason. They want they want you to see Harry, being upset for a reason, because that's a big part of what compels the symbiote, and what draws that into a person, because it feeds on that negative, aspect of their personality and those feelings, and it kind of amplifies that, and that's what empowers the suit and everything like that. And then it's like also like an addiction, so you're getting a high that you're not getting, normally, and that mixed with those heightened emotions and all of that stuff is like the symbiote is crazy in and of itself. And then you amplify that with the feelings that the symbiote itself is bringing in from being rejected by Spider-Man, and it's like you just have a perfect combination for chaos. So it's like, I don't know. We got Norman, as Venom potentially. We got Harry. We got Peter. We could have an unknown, but with the destruction being so close to the Osborns, I think it's safe to say that it'll probably be one of them at some point. So whether Peter gets the symbiote from them, or however that goes, is definitely going to get crazy over there. But yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up, guys. I'll try to be back tomorrow. Like I said, if you guys are down, I'll put up a poll or something. If you guys are down, to hang out and play some Avengers, we can do some stuff like that. Tomorrow, probably do cloning labs, or some OLTs, or in general or something. Don't know if I'm ready to commit to a raid. I mean, if I'll play it by ear. All right, so we got Cap in the strike team. That's what's up. Watch the Venom eat somebody off screen. I mean, with the way Insomniac has been doing, he might eat somebody on screen. We you never know what you're gonna get with them. All right, catch you later, Warrior. Please let me know if I'm saying your name. that's bothering me, but definitely appreciate you. But yeah, as always, it's been fun hanging out with you guys. Appreciate everybody who came through. If you haven't already, drop a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I got you, Craig. So yeah, it'll be tomorrow around the same time. I'll set that up and put that up there so you guys know and be available to check out and everything. And we could do it if you guys want to raid or OLT or whatever you want to do. We can get it done. Especially with it being the last day that the game is listed online, I think. So, like I said, that sounds like a dub. So that's how we'll play that. Appreciate you guys coming through. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a like. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.